Well, tonight we're speaking to the Principal Secretary of the State Department for Investment, Hassan Abubakar Hassan, and the focus really is on Kenya's investment agenda, not just in the year 2024, but the grand plan moving forward. Thank you very much, PS, for joining us. How are you doing?
Good. And you?
I'm well.
All right.
Nashkuru. Let's begin with, you defining the mandates of the State Department for Investment.
Okay, investment promotion.
Yes.
So this the department was established under Executive Order number 1 of 2023, and its mandate is basically to implement the National Investment Policy of 2019 and to coordinate the promotion of private investment, whether foreign or domestic, into the Kenyan economy, with an aim of positioning Kenya as a preferred investment destination in Africa. And we are doing this through provision of a competitive business climate. This State Department has been given 5 tools. It has been given the special economic zones, export processing zones, Kenya Development Corporation, Kenya Invest, and Business Reform Transformation Unit as tools to help the State Department in attracting, facilitating and enabling investment, private investment. Why? It's because we as a country, we have an agenda and we have commitments. The President had made commitments to the Kenyan people, and these commitments needs funding. Yeah, so you can see the public investment of the government resources is stretched and strained, so we need to look for other ways of funding those commitments. And you can see the President is looking for, is coming up with other ways, innovative ways to fund. One is through privatization. The President has just assented to the Privatization Act so that we can ease the privatization of state-owned entities. Another way is through public-private partnership. You can see the Cabinet has just approved the PPP regulation just to strengthen that act so that we can be able to do the PPP deals with transparency and accountability and certainty. And other ways is through private investment directly. And he established the State Department and also operationalized the National Investment Council, which advises him on private investment, on how to increase the level of private investment, it scans the investment environment, it identifies impediments to be removed, and what are the incentives to be created.
Clearly you have a broad mandate, but let's talk about the climate for investment in the country, particularly in the year 2023. How would you rate the investment climate in the country?
Very positive. I think it's very friendly, very attractive, very facilitative, and very enabling. And where I come from, people say mtu ajisifu unangoja kusifiwa. So we are looking at independent people who are going to rate us. So far we have received 2 international ratings, one on look back, and the other one on look forward. The look back says that Kenya was number 1 in Africa in terms of startup funding. So you can see their reviews on our look back as far as our investment climate is concerned. And another one is FDI intelligence. The first one was the deals, the Africa big deals, rated Kenya number 1 in terms of startup for the last year. And FDI intelligence has rated Kenya number 1 in Africa and number 3 in the world in terms of the country with the greatest investment momentum. So we are expecting more favorable ratings international from independent people, just to show that we are on the go. Yes.
Take us through the deliberate steps taken by your State Department and the government at large to bring out this favorable ratings that you're talking about in 2023 and the prospects of 2024.
First, for example, when we came in, our job is to continuously engage the private sector so that we can identify what are the pain points here. It's one of our aftercare program for those who have already invested in Kenya. So we engaged them and we came up with issues which featured in our Finance Act 2023, because our interventions are basically threefold. Either it will be a legal intervention through the change of act, or a policy intervention, regulatory or administrative interventions. So our Finance Act 2023 captured most of the issues raised by the private sector. In the transport sector, we have removed taxes if you want to assemble e-mobility vehicles. So that is what we've been doing. For example, in the Special Economic Zone program, we have put a lot of incentives there in the Finance Act for 2023. First, we're now allowing special economic zones to be custom controlled and non-custom controlled. So investors can choose whether they just want to take advantage of the quality infrastructure and they don't want the fiscal incentives, or both. We have also enhanced their market access regionally. We've championed the approval of the EAC policy on special economic zone. Now the people who have set up in the CESA program can access EAC market with ease. We've also championed the market access in the African continental free trade area, really leading to the approval of FSFTA ministerial regulations on SEZ. So if you set up in the SEZ, you can access our market, the Kenyan market, the East African market, and the African market with ease. So those are the things which we have done. We have also, that is as far as the Finance Act is concerned, the cost issues. On the regulatory issues, we have compiled all the regulatory issues. We now have a business amendment bill. It's with the AG, and I think it will go to the cabinet next month. So basically we've done a lot, but most importantly is the global positioning of our country, through the strengthening of our economic diplomacy. The president has been going all over the country just to showcase, to profile what the potential for what the country can do for the investors, and we have received a lot of interest, a lot of investors, a lot of investor leads, and that is why we are saying this year is a year of execution. We want to convert leads to deals.
Interesting. You make a reference severally to SEZs, the special economic zones. Probably even before we get to their contribution to the country's economy and its growth, there are people who don't really figure out the difference between the special economic zones and the EPZs. As the PS in charge, first of all, break to us the difference between SEZs and EPZs. Both EPZ and SEZ, those are tools given to my state departments to attract private investment. The difference between the two are threefold. One is eligible activities that can happen in the SEZ and what can happen in the EPZ. In the SEZ, they have a bigger scope of activity, economic activity, which can take place, but in EPZ, they are a bit restrictive. It's focusing on manufacturing. The second difference is the fiscal incentives difference. Where the incentive difference. In EPZ, you have tax holiday, for example, for the first 10 years. In SEZ, you have preferential tax treatment. For the first 10 years is 10%. Another difference in incentives is what you've seen the president on Saturday. Those people who operate in the SEZ, they will have a cost of energy, cost of power tariff at 5 shilling for Naivasha, and the other SEZ 10 shilling. But for EPZ, we are still not there. So we are working on how to work on the. So those are the incentives difference. And the third one is on market access. If you set up in an SEZ, you can export 100 and you can sell to the domestic market 100. But if you set up in an EPZ, you can export 100 but only sell 20% of what you produce into the domestic market. So those are the three fundamental differences between SEZ and EPZ. I know there are a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion out there. So what we are doing this year, we are reviewing the Special Economic Zone Act, and we will put EPZ program as part of the scheme, one of the scheme under SEZ umbrella. Was that why there was public participation ongoing?
Yes. So we'll put it now. All of them, they will be called SEZ, but under SEZ you'll be having different scheme. You'll be having an EPZ scheme. You can have a free port zone. You can have a free trade zone. You get. So it will be all of them SEZ. EPZ will be part of the one of the scheme under SEZ.
From the difference, you can figure out a deliberate a venture by government to really make SEZs work, and in a major way. what is the contribution, or what are the perspectives of investment, or what does SEZs mean for the country?
It contributes to the economic transformation agenda of this country, because, as I had said, and I've always been saying, that we have three economic deficits which we need to address: the saving to investment deficit, the fiscal deficit, and the balance of payment deficit. Focusing on our balance of trade, we have a big deficit. I think our export is only 6 billion, our import is 10 billion. So these are tools which they can be able to attract investments, especially focus on private investment. Because if you look at our KK manifesto, we have impact areas. There's 6 impact areas. Whatever we do, we need to have an impact on the foreign reserves, forex. Whatever we do, we need to have an impact on the cost of living. Or whatever we do, we need to expand our tax base, inclusiveness, increase our exports. So we believe this tool ticks most of the boxes.
The need for Kenya to stamp out the excess imports we're bringing into the country. Is SEZ the silver bullet to ending that over-reliance on imports?
Okay. SEZ or EPZ, they want to bridge that gap by exporting more. Yeah, but the silver bullet on reducing import is by enhancing our production, enhancing our productivity, so that we don't import. Yeah, so that is the silver bullet. We need to be more productive, so that we don't import what we have the capacity or the potential to explore and exploit internally. Yes.
So how do investors benefit from putting their monies into SEZs?
A lot, irresistible incentives. First, you are aware of what the president did on Saturday, the cost tariff, which is 5 shilling in the special economic zone of Naivasha. The other special economy is just 10 shilling. So that is equivalent to maybe 0.2 dollar cents. Yeah, so that there's cost competitiveness issue. But most importantly is that the tax issues. The incentives are on the tax issues. First, it is on the capital tax on the capital flow. The capital flows without taxes. It flows in without taxes. It flows out with taxes. Yes.
Special economic zones in places like Dubai have quite a significant contribution to the GDP. How are we working or revitalizing SEZs in Kenya to be a significant contributor to the GDP of a country?
We are working on that, but we are starting to rolling it out. You can see now we are operationalizing them. First, we need to gazette this. We need to, because one of the most important challenge, one of the biggest challenges for investors in the industrial space is in the industrial space is they want industrial land. So we need to look for industrial land to gazette. Okay. And that's what we have been doing. You can see the president this year has just directed us to gazette 5 more industrial spaces in Kirinyaga, in Murang'a, in Busia, in Narok, in Uasin Gishu, 5 more.
Interesting. The Kenya Kwanza promise for creation of jobs for the youth. What is the potential of solving the big balloon that is unemployment in Kenya?
Generally, the president has put many programs. Let me start with the first program. He had put affordable housing program, which up to now it has employed over 120,000 people, our youth. So that is one of the programs for job creation. Not only owning a house affordably, but also job creation. And it also helps in expanding our industry. But the second one is on the digital space, the digital jobs. Right? The third one is on the exploitation of labor. Yeah, the president has signed many bilateral agreements so that we can export our competent, our very competent labor to the diaspora. But the fourth one is in the industrial space. We have a program where we'll have a county aggregation industrial park in each and every county, so that we can increase those jobs. We enhance agricultural transformation, where whatever farmers are growing, it can be aggregated, but we don't want it to be sold raw. We want a value addition to be added, and we are targeting this big strategic SEZ like Naivasha, Dongo Kundu, and Lapset. Each zone will have a potential to employ like 100,000 youth.
As the PS for investments promotion, what would you want Kenyans to hold you to account for? What is your vision in the year 2024 of what you want to do, as long as you're disposing your mandate under the State Department for Investment Promotion?
Okay, what we need is to be responsive to what the business community, what is the investment community saying. So what we have pointed out that there's a big, people are complaining about the cost of doing business. Yeah, and we've done a paper to the cabinet. The cabinet has just approved for a task force to be created so that it can develop a business reform action plan focusing on cost of doing business. So that will be my focus for this year. We have already engaged all the private sector associations, KEPSA, the Kenya Association of Manufacture, and all the business associations to come forth and submit what are the cost structures in what cost per unit, or they need to tell us, for me to produce 1 unit of what I'm going to sell, this is my cost structure. However, there are 2 more issues. For example, in terms of licensing, right? In terms of licensing in the county, there are a lot of multiple licenses in different counties. Yeah, and we have put a program to harmonize those licenses and standardize them, so that the investors do not. It's not like they are cherry picking counties. It should be standardized, yeah, and also inter-county sales. So we are seeing how we can harmonize, standardize, and unify their payment. And the third and most important is the investment facilitation. When investors have already expressed interest to invest in a country, they need to be facilitated with ease. Yeah, so we are strengthening our Kenyan Invest, right? We have already changed the law. We have now have a new bill on how to give them the mandate for facilitation and coordination, so that the investor journey, the investors, they have a world-class investor experience in the investor journey. They can see the clear path, the steps taken, and how they can be handheld, so that they can achieve what they want.
Let me take you back a bit, PS, particularly the Saturday, the inauguration of that substation and supposed to power the SEZ in Naivasha. The announcement by the president that the auction of Japanese cars will be happening now in Naivasha. But obviously now that creates another headache, the headache of accommodation, logistics and stuff like that. How are you working with your partner departments in government to deal with the unfolding situation that will unfold if that program kicks off in April?
There's no headache. You know, investment philosophy 101 is that whenever there is a problem, there's an investment opportunity. So that headache is an investment opportunity for people to tap into. Yeah, because if the people will be coming there, money people, then they will need accommodation. So we are expecting the hotel industry to pick up, right? But most importantly, what is our main goal is how to create jobs for people. So we want the TVETs around that area to be able to skill our youth so that they can be absorbed into that zone or any other zone into this country. Yes.
Finally, a PS from a minority community somewhere in Lamu.
Yes.
How do you feel serving in government? Because in most cases, the perception out there for people serving in government is that it's reserved for the majority and the privileged.
I think we have to give credit to the president. I mean, he told us when he was campaigning that he will have an inclusive government, and that's what he has done. For us as a community, we are very inspired. It's very inspiring to be given such a privilege. Which what I can say is that I will not let the president down. He is executing his mandate for the Kenyan people. But the job is, we have a president who is, this is my first boss, who is on top of things. You know, he's a hands-on president. You know, that's the beauty about it. So you keep being challenged each and every day. You know, you just have to think outside the box to get his attention and to tell him this is there's something which he does not know. It's very difficult. Yeah. So it keeps us he just needs us to become more innovative to see how we're going to solve the problem of Kenyan people, and that's the beauty about it. Your mind is always, on the move to see what we can do to solve the problems facing Kenyans.
Thank you very much, PS.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
PS Hassan Abubakar Hassan, the PS for the State Department for Investments Promotion, and he's taking us inside the grand plan of the Republic of Kenya, really, in terms of investment. That's why we put a cap on the interview tonight. Good night.